Hey guys, my name is Sal Shakir, and my story is a little different than most. I am an immigrant from the Middle East, and if you know anything about the Middle East, you can only begin to imagine the struggles we went through. After immigrating to the United States, and plenty of personal and financial hardships later, I finally reached my version of the American dream. The vehicle that helped me reach my financial freedom was real estate. Now, I run multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses, and I like to help others. That's why I'm here. If I can do it, so can you. Believe me. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll show you how.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back once again to the 14-day challenge, scaling your real estate operation, aka Hustler to CEO. And this one we're going to be talking about hiring and the culture in your operation. This is a really fun one and important to scaling your operation. So let's get to it. So before we start talking about hiring, let's talk about some important documents that we need for our hires. Standard operating procedures. This is a really important document explaining what is your standard procedure for your company. Kind of gives them an understanding what their position should look like from A to Z. Second one is position agreement. What do you expect from them as well? So that kind of goes hand in hand in the standard operating agreement. Not as detailed. This one is just more of an overview. Company agreement, core values agreement. Yes, we actually let them sign our core values agreement. Compensation structure. So you're kind of telling them what to expect. What is your compensation structure? And every time you change any of these things for your current team members as well, you let them sign the new ones. So you're not kind of stuck for the old ones. If you're making any changes after you discuss it with the company or your team members and implementing something, you can always bring it back and sign it. Non-disclosures, non-competes, that one kind of helps you from someone coming in to steal the sauce and running away with that sauce. So those kind of help you with that. New hire information sheet. If you have team members that's on 1099, you can have a 1099 form or W9 tax form, depending what their taxation is. Owner operating agreement, and obviously the purchase agreements that they expect to use. Now that you know your documents that you need to hire, now let's talk about hiring actual individuals. Number one, what you will need for onboarding. My favorite thing to do is recording videos and audio for previous closings or for training like comp training and what to expect. So you kind of give them the handbook from earlier documents we talked about, and then you show them some videos. It could be the 2-week training of something or 1-week training of something alongside with some recordings that you've closed before or you obtained from a friend or another company. Just to kind of direct them what it should look like. Or maybe you have your own way of doing comping or your own way of closing and you really want them to learn that. So always document that, record it, video record it, and give it to them. Job ads. You will need job ads. Obviously, it's really basic. Whatever you're looking for. Could be if it's a closer, then you talk for a closer. If you're looking for someone who's doing transaction coordination, then you need someone more of an office work, someone who's detail oriented. This test. This one is not really that important if you're at the beginning stages of your business, but later on you'll start to understand how important this tests are, because there is 4 different types of personalities: the red personality, the blue personality, the green personality, the yellow. For example, the red personality is a very direct person and likes to get to the point, and that person works really, really well with disposition from business to business. You could have that red personality for an acquisition position or a blue personality. It's not really a rule of thumb type of deal, but it could be a combination of few. And most people are a combination of all 4 of them, but which one dominates more? And for an acquisition manager, it could work as a red personality, where that works with someone who likes to know direct numbers, why do they need to sell their house, or the blue personality, more of the crying shoulder, a comforting shoulder for the home seller. So there's not really a wrong or right personality, but there is the more effective one. So you can always have 2 different team members of acquisition, for example, with the red personality or the blue personality. So it's cool. It's a cool tool to have it. There is a free resources out there that you can get it, and you can always put it as they apply for the job. They submit their revenue, and they can take some of those questions to answer their disc test. Interview questions. When we used to do interviews, I used to have 2 different interviews, over the phone and one in person. Sometimes we have a third one where they come back and we ask even more questions, but this is the kind of questions that I like to ask. So during the interview, sometimes I would ask them, hey, what's your superpower? So for someone like an acquisition manager, if they say my superpower is building rapport. So halfway through the interview, I would let some other questions take place, and then I say, okay, so sell me this device or sell me this pen, whatever that is. And I listen to what they're saying. So if that person said their superpower is building rapport, and then their method of selling me that pen would be, hey, so how you doing? How is everything? And then after that, jump right to it saying, well, this pen is this much. It's really good. Do you write? You would love writing with it. This would be a really good addition to your pen. And I will stop them there. I'll say, hey, you told me your superpower was building rapport. Why are you going for the close? Why are you going for the kill right away? That means that you're really not a good rapport builder. Why did you tell me that? So you kind of start to catch it's almost like an interview, really. Like you're really trying to understand who is that person. Who's that person going to be working for you? Who's that person that's going to be handling those leads that you spent a lot of money on, right? So you want to know who they are from the get-go. And obviously you can start to catch the things, if they're really saying the things that you just want to hear to get the job, or that's who really they are. The second week of standard operating procedure process, for the new hires, like I mentioned earlier, you kind of put them through a 2-week process of training. That doesn't mean they have to go through all of it if they're really highly skilled, but at least you have that process in place. And at the 2-week mark, you take the training wheels off, where you throw them into the dialer and they start calling people and trying to close deals. Hey there, I hope you're enjoying this video as much as I am making it and the content that it contains. If you're just starting out, that is okay. I have a free book that you can download, and it'll give you the tools, the contract, the resources that you need to getting your first deal. And if you're not new in the business, you can always join my academy that has all kind of videos and accountability and courses that helps you to scale your operation. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. And obviously the position agreement and the non-compete, of course, like we talked about earlier. And here is an example when you need to hire. We've talked about this. Your first hire should always be your acquisition manager, but always be hiring. Let's say you're running a full ship right now where you have acquisition, disposition, transaction coordination. Always have interviews just in case something happens. Number one, you could be expanding your company. You're looking to expand and you have some candidates in place. Number two, something could happen and someone could quit at any time. Therefore, you have some backups. A hire is an investment. That's another thing. When you hire someone, you're expecting a return on investment, especially if it's a money producing position like an acquisition or disposition. But they could be an addition. If it's a transaction coordinator, that's not a money producing position, but that's really helpful to coordinate your transaction and help your acquisition department and disposition department. So it is an investment, whether it's directly generating you revenue or helping the other departments to generate revenue. All right, now that you've hired your team members, now let's talk about how to conduct a team member meeting, how to conduct meetings in your company. For us, we always direct that for accountability and goal purpose. So keeping people accountable. In our company, we have to make sure that our people are always doing what they're supposed to do. They're hitting the numbers they need to hit, and we address those in meetings. For example, when we have a goal for our acquisition managers to generate X amount of revenue, to make X amount of calls, to make X amount of offers, we make sure that those numbers are met. And if they're not met, we actually address that with the individuals themselves in a group setting and seeing what's happening there. Because sometimes there might be a shift in your marketing, that you started a marketing channel that's not really producing like it should be, or bringing you not good quality leads. Then when you keep people accountable and another person is not doing well as well, or multiple people are not doing well, then that should tell you something. So that opens up a conversation of, okay, there is an underlying issue, let's really address that. Or it could be everybody else is doing well, but one acquisition manager is not doing well on their numbers. Well, obviously that individual's slacking. So we have to address that as well. Monday morning meetings, that's where we address those meetings. The keeping people accountable could happen at any day. Obviously, it could be a flash meeting at any moment, but we like to address things on Monday because everybody's starting their week fresh. They just finished the weekend. Now it's time to work, and you want to realign everybody's goals. You want to realign their numbers to hit. So it's a really cool day to have that meeting, and we call it Money Mondays, and we can have that, obviously, Monday meeting. Goal driven. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that we've talked about the goals that we've put in place for our acquisition managers, and you saw the KPIs that we have for them. So how cool would that be if you have that goal for them and you're meeting and you're seeing your acquisition managers meeting their goal? That means they're bringing more revenue to your company. Or for someone who's not meeting their goal, well, obviously, why are you not meeting your goal? And if they're seeing their team member, their coworkers hitting their quota, hitting their numbers, and they're not, that might light a fire under their butt to tell them, hey, you need to get to work. You need to work harder. And focused objective, meaning that we have to make sure that all these meetings are directed toward the same objective. Obviously, in a company, it's a for-profit, the objective to generate more money. But if there is issues that's happening in your organization where deals are not closing, where there is sellers are not being served, so that could be directed toward that. You need to be serving the sellers. That's why you're in business. You're in business to handle heavy transactions or high value transactions for disgruntled folks selling their homes. Concerns and ideas. It's a really cool time to focus on bringing new ideas. What can we do to improve this? What can we do to improve that other department? And if there is any concerns, well, obviously, what's a better place to address it rather than your team members? You don't want to be having side meetings or individual meetings. You want to have it in a group setting where everybody can chime in and give you ideas to improve your organization. So when I list these things, I don't mean that you have to have all of them in that same meeting. You can have one or two or all of them if you want to, but this is just to give you an idea how to structure your meeting. What's the agenda of the meeting? It could be the top one, it could be the middle one, it could be all of them, and really make it an open floor where people can suggest ideas and talk freely. Now that we know how to conduct a proper meeting, I'm gonna show you our team culture that we have. Team culture is really big in our organization. It helps the team build that synergy, helps the team have that bond where they can interact with each other, they can help each other, and really help us as well as CEOs to understand what's happening in our organization and want to build it together. And part of that is giving bonuses. We would incentive budget, and we would award. We actually have awards that we give the best closers, the best revenue generators. Celebration, we really celebrate the deal. So if we get a deal, we actually have a gong that they go and hit that gong to announce that they got a deal. So they celebrate, people clap, and it's a really cool thing to have in your organization. Another thing is team outing. This picture is actually from a team outing that we've had, and it's a really good way to add on to that bond that you want to have between team members and the CEOs and really everybody under that roof. I'm gonna leave you with a video of what our team culture looks like. I did have a zen, 13 hours till I land, had me out like a light, slept through the flight, for the night, 767, man, this shit got double bedroom, man, I still got scores to settle, man, I cracked on the block, little light, cut the lights, with the cool, I just landed in, chase me, this is not like Jamba Joe's, different color jeans, in my jewelry. We all in too deep, playing for keeps, don't All right, that was a cool video, right? And I would like you to have that kind of energy in your organization, because believe it or not, when people enjoy what they're doing, they produce better. They operate at higher levels, and that's really what you want to have in your operation. And secondly, it's a really good time to have, and you'll start to have that kind of family feel in your operations. All right, guys, I hope this video was informative. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and turn on your notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.